Alright, so first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yosai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. We say double on our personal elders and great most on Aruba, our teachers, our apostle in truth, and we say salutations, so they are coming to the push with our truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season on the season, we say shalom. And once again, going into our video here, and that's touching upon, doing a video on this post that this guy just said here, right? So what he said was, say, imagine being so vile, sneaky, and disgusting that laws have to be created to keep normal people from hating or condemning you. Now, this goes into like certain laws that are being passed right now. If you've been keeping up with the news, you would see that you can't mention or you can't say certain things against a certain group of people, and who are talking about the small hats, right? What's going on is that your page might be taken down. There's a lot of people profiles being removed. Even in some scenarios and in some cases, police, and agents showing up at the door. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pause and see if I find that video. So this is one of the videos I remember doing a video on going into the farm and the wood, but there were also a video where as a citizen. They basically said something against the small hats, and there were 3 different Asians that showed up at the door, and it wasn't him alone. There were other instances that where that happened, right? So this one here is police visit people's homes to respond to complaints about tweets. Police don't go after criminals who have committed burglary or phone theft. They go after perfectly legal tweets online. UK Home Security Shabana Mahamud, right, stumbles and stutters when asking if the police are going to continue arresting people for online posts, right? So let me just play this.
It does cost.
Well, it's not just the structure of police, is it? It's also the culture of police. For example, police visit people's homes to respond to complaints about tweets, but you'll never see a copper after car theft, and you won't also see them after a burglary. Isn't part of the problem not necessarily the structure or resources, but just the priorities of the police at the moment? What are you going to do about that?
Well, look, I fully hear that case. It's something I've spoken about myself. I think that if the police are seen to be going after perfectly legal tweets, it does cost confidence, and the public does think, well, hang on a minute, exactly as you say, somebody nicked my phone the other day and no one cared, but somebody tweeted maybe about women's rights or something else that's part of the so-called culture war, and then suddenly the police are all over it. That I think even policing leaders have recognised does cost confidence in policing.
So you want to stop them policing people's behaviours?
Yes, and I will be saying more about.
Right, so policing people's behaviours, and it just goes back to this. So it also goes back to what this guy just said. If you're talking about a certain people, they pass laws, they bring laws. So now if you see something against them, you can get jail. To the extent that you get in jail time or charge, right? Now let me bring a scripture here. I want to go to the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. Right? Because the first post stated, imagine being so vile, and that is Esau fair. that is Esau fair. Right? It says sneaky and disgusting that laws have to be created to keep normal people from hating or condemning you. Right? This is Job chapter 9, verse 24. It said the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So it goes to show, hey, they have the power to do these things. They can. Right? They could pass their laws. They could do these things to stop people from talking against them. Because why? They said the scriptures say the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Right? So when you listen, when you hear that scripture, right? The earth is given into the hand. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So one time you're supposed to know who the wicked is, because who runs the world today? Matter. I'm sure if I go on Google, right, and I type in who runs the world today, you know who will show up. And the video might be flagged. They might call it as anti-Semitic, right? We will sue and or jail you into loving us. So it's just also the people that now coming back, to make fun of what's going on right now. But you see what's happening. To the fact where there are certain places where you can't even quote certain scriptures if it hurts their feelings, right? And again, we know Esau but hurt. The truth is going out. right? So he said the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And he's seeing who it is, right? He's seeing who the wicked is, who it is really run this place, right? He's seeing the kind of stuff that they're doing. You had all these kind of things come out, the Epstein files, all these sort of things, and where is it today, right? There were cases where the army, right, was actually, I use the proper word, were molesting prisoners, right? Men on men, right? And when people spoke out against it, right, the post was, their post was removed, their things was removed, their profile was banned, and so forth and so on. But as I say, that's the reason I want to touch upon it, because it goes to show who it is around this world, right? We know obviously the Lord controls everything, but this place here is the Lord who put them there. The scriptures mention he set it the basis of men, right? He could raise up and throw down whoever it is he pleased. That's the Lord, right? But the scriptures say the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, right? So at one time we're supposed to know who the wicked is, right? I'm gonna jump to another scripture here. I'm gonna go to Micah chapter 2 verse 1. It say, woe to them. It say, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. It is in the what? In the power of their hand, so they could do these things, right? So that's what it says. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. That is what they do. They work evil upon their beds. When it had no good to come from them. He said, imagine being so violent. That is who Esau is, right? And that he is an Edomite most likely, right? But it goes to show that, hey, you see that, right? Their own fighting against their own, right? They say, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. That nothing good to come from them. The scripture mentioned the wicked could do but wickedly, right? So where feel going to come from the wicked? You feel good things going to come from the wicked? No. They're passing the laws and there's nothing you could do against it. Even to the fact where, hey, when this MOT become mandatory, what is he all going to say? Right? What is he going to say? You're already seeing the small hats coming out and talking about. They already monetizing and throwing things to where you all have to, hey, you have to come and need this one order, right? You know, they're talking about the NWO, the New World Order, and all these things, right? What could you do, right? It's a when the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. It's the power of their hand to do these things, right? And again, the wicked bear rule, right? Matter of fact, let me go to a scripture. Wicked rule. Right, let me go to the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 29 verse 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Right? And again, it's seeing who the wicked is, but they bear rule. Right? They bear rule. So wait is your feel go? What it is you feel going to come from the wicked? They feel they're going to do good? No. They could only do but wickedly. But the scriptures say, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Is the righteous? Anybody rejoicing right now? No. Even their own feeling that wickedness, right? They say, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn, and that is what's going on, right? The next scripture. I think it's Proverbs 28. What was it verse? Proverbs 28 and verse 15. It says, as a roaring lion and a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people. Hey, that's self-explanatory, right? So, you know, he shared this post, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna do a video on showing who it is really run the show. The wicked, right? There's no denying it. And you're seeing that continually, right? They say, so going back now to the Micah 2, verse 2, you say, and they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Right? And that is where it is. The scriptures mentioned, the scriptures call them what? The border of wickedness. Right? Malachi chapter 1, verse 4, it says, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will show them, and they shall call them the border of wickedness. Right? The border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord had indignation forever. And we start with the Job, the wicked rule. You go and type into there who run the world, and you would see a certain particular people, right? So there's no denying it, right? And it's from you just seeing them passing the laws and it like that, but it's going to get worse and worse, right? You're already seeing people getting thrown into prison. You see people getting charged. You're seeing people getting locked up. Seeing people getting, all different things happening for certain things they're posting online. Even for us, our pages being flagged, our pages being thing, eventually it start to get worse and worse. But the scriptures mention, hey, we know these things coming, right? So, hey, once again, I give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yoshai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. We say, Doublance, Apostle, and Los Great Muslim, Luba, our teachers, our apostle in truth, and we say salutations, so the Akim to the push in our truth and sincerity, day in and day out, and constantly in season or season, we say, Shalom.